So today we will learn about chromosome, DNA, genes and their interrelationship. So let us see what actually happens. The growth and development of every organisms depend on the multiplication and enlargement of the cell. So the growth and development of every and each organism actually depends on what? The enlargement and multiplication of the cells. Obviously, if cells multiply, the growth and development of the organism will occur, right? So the development of multicellular organism from the unicellular zygote is achieved by cell division, cell growth and differentiation. Due to this differentiation of the cell or growth of the cell or the division of the cell only from the unicellular zygote or from the unicellular organisms, the multicellular organisms are formed. So, unless and until this cell division or cell growth does not occur, so the what happens? The multicellular organisms could not be formed. So this unicellular zygote, from the unicellular zygote, the multicellular organisms are formed only by the cell division, cell growth and differentiation. So what happens after cell achieve the definite size? Then it undergoes the process of division. So what is the process of division? Producing the daughter cells, which again in turn enlarges and divides. So what happens? That cell grows in size and then it divides into daughter cells, producing daughter cells. Again, those daughter cells grow in size and again they divide to form the further cells. So like this, what happens? The life continues. So the continuity of life, generation after generation, is maintained only by cell division. If cell does not divide, then life could not be continued. For reproduction also, the cells need to divide. This is only reproduction, that from one cell the two cells are being produced. Again from those two cells the more two cells are produced, giving rise to the four cells. Like this the cells divide, then only the continuity of life is being maintained. Next, what are chromosomes? Chromosomes are the gene bearing nucleoprotein filament which is present within the nucleus, endowed with the heredity characters. Because chromosomes contain gene, they are the gene bearing nucleoprotein filaments present of nucleoprotein, and it is present within the nucleus. As you know that nucleus is the very important cell organelles within which the chromosome is present, and this chromosome is endowed, means is enriched with the heredity characters. Why? Because it contains gene within it. So what is the relationship between the chromosome, DNA and the gene? It have a major relationship. What? As you know that chromosomes contain what? DNA. And again in DNA the genes are present. So in chromosomes genes are present. Genes are the sequences of nucleotides. Who are the nucleotides? DNA are the nucleotides. Okay. So there is a major relationship in it. I am explaining. Follow the picture. So chromosomes are found in the nucleus as we know. But chromosome is composed of chromatin materials. What is the chromatin material? It consists of DNA and protein. These are the chromatin material. The gene is the basic physical and functional unit of heredity, and it is made up of DNA. So gene is made up of DNA and it is transferred from the parent to offspring and is held to determine some characteristic of the offspring. As you know, genes are being transferred from parent to the daughter cell, and what happens? These genes determine some characteristic features of the daughter cell or the offspring. The gene occupies a specific position on a chromosome. As we know that the specific position where gene is present in the chromosome is called locus of gene. And the alternative form of gene is called allele. In case of diploid cell, what happens? There are two alleles of one gene. That is one from father and one from mother. And this one gene is always dominant and the other one is recessive. So these genes have specific nucleotide sequence which form the triplet code for protein. So every nucleotide actually forms the triplet. They are always three. They form the triplet and they code for protein. Okay, so the gene bears the information for the production of protein. The characteristics which are expressed and can be seen by eye or felt by the behavior of the organisms are called the phenotypic expression. The one which you can see and tell that this person is tall, this person is dwarf. These are the phenotypic what? Expressions. Okay? And the ones which cannot be seen, those are the genotypic expressions. But for the genotypic expressions only, the phenotypic expression can be seen. Like suppose the phenotypic expression is the one person have a blonde type of hair. So this is the phenotypic expression because by seeing the hair color, you can tell that this person have the blonde hair. But the genetic sequence or the nucleotide sequence which is responsible for this blonde color is dominant in that person. So that is the genotypic what? Genotypic expression of that phenotype character. Okay. So that is the genotypic expression of that phenotypic character. That means the gene, the information carried by the gene for the phenotypic expression is called the genetic expression. The nucleotide sequence that is responsible for that blonde color hair is the genotypic expression or gene expression of that phenotypic character. Okay, so gene is actually the responsible one for any type of characteristics. To determine the characteristics or the phenotypic expressions which we can see in our eyes are actually responsible for the sequence of gene in our chromosomes. Okay. Nextly, DNA. What are DNA? These are the fine reticulum structure. Okay. And it is found inside the nucleus of a cell. The DNA are very, very long, large biomolecules. So you can see that they are always in condensed form. They are always in folded form. They are never open like this. If they are open like this, then very long DNA cannot fit inside a cell. So they are coiled up. As you can see, they are coiled structure and the coiled up structure is present inside the nucleus of a cell. Okay. Now DNA can remain in folded condition or it can also remain in partly open condition. Okay. The term is known as chromatin reticulum. Reticulum means network type reticulum. So if the chromatin is densely condensed or folded, it is called chromatin reticulum. Okay, this condition is called chromatin reticulum. And what happens? If they are open, then they are not called reticulum. Clear? So the folded condition of DNA is called the chromatin reticulum. If they are wound tightly around the protein. Clear? And if chromatin, reticulum and chromosomes are actually the different folding states of DNA molecule. Next, coming to the types of chromosomes. There are two types of chromosomes, autosomes and sex chromosomes. Sex chromosomes are also called allosomes. Okay, autosomes and allosomes. So there are 44 chromosomes which are autosomes. The total number of chromosomes present in human are 46. So out of 46, 44 chromosomes are autosomes and only 2 chromosomes are sex chromosomes. That is X and Y. You can see the X chromosome and Y chromosomes are the sex chromosomes. So what are autosomes? They are actually the somatic characters. They actually determine the somatic characters. They are called somatic chromosomes or autosomes. And the chromosomes which determine the sex characters are called sex chromosomes or allosomes. Clear? 44 chromosomes are autosomes out of 46 and X and Y chromosomes are the allosomes. Clear? Okay. Next, going to the structure of chromosome. So as you can see, this is the structure of chromosome. It contains primary constriction and secondary constriction. There is a nuclear organizer or nucleolus. There is satellite. The chromosome containing satellites are called the sat chromosomes. And any constrictions other than primary constrictions are secondary constrictions. As you can see here, there is only one primary constrictions. Any other constrictions present in the chromosome other than primary chromosomes are called secondary chromosome. As you can see, this is also secondary chromosome. This is also a secondary chromosome. And after secondary constriction, the satellite is present. Okay? Okay. So, coming to the parts. What are the parts? It consists of chromatids. As you can see in the upper picture, it consists of chromatids. So what are chromatids? Each chromosome which consists of spiral thread-like structure. As you can see, this is a spiral thread-like structure. These are called chromatids. Okay. Centromere. Each chromosome consists of a small granular non-stainable zone which are attached with the spindle fibers are called centromere. You can see here centromere. Centromere. Actually in chromosome, this middle part is the centromere. So the centromere can have different location on the chromosome. Here it is actually in the middle. In most of the chromosome actually it is in the middle. So it is called metacentric. Okay. So according to the location of the centromere, the chromosomes can be of 4 types. That is telocentric, acrocentric, metacentric and submetacentric. Telocentric means the centromere is always present at the topmost, the telomeric end. Telomere, this is the end of the chromosome. So in the telomeric end, and acrocentric means just below the telomere. Okay. Next is metacentric, is actually in the middle, and submetacentric is little upper the metacentric position. Okay. So these are the 4 types of the positions. Then it consists of the secondary constrictions. So any constrictions other than primary constrictions are called the secondary constrictions. Then it contains satellite. So what is satellite? The distal segment formed after the initiation of secondary constriction. See, this is the distal segment formed after the constriction of the secondary constriction. After the initiation of the secondary constriction is known as satellite. And just now I said the chromosome consisting of satellites is called the sat chromosomes. And what is nuclear organizer? This is the nuclear organizer which is present at the base of the satellite stalk. It is always present at the base of the satellite stalk. Okay? See, here also you can see at the base of the satellite stalk, this nucleolus or nuclear organizer is present. And what is telomere? The tip of the chromosome is called telomere. The end of the chromosome is called the telomere. Okay. Now coming to the chemical components of chromosome. Chromosome is actually made up of protein and nucleic acid. Just now I said that it is made up of chromatin material. So what is the chromatin material? The proteins and the nucleic acids. Protein contains histone protein and non-histone protein. What are the histone protein? Histone protein are actually the basic protein, okay, which are water soluble proteins, and non-histone proteins are actually the acidic proteins and they are not so much soluble in water. So what are the examples of histone proteins which are present in chromosome? Histone proteins are the basic proteins and it contains basic amino acids like arginine, histidine and lysine, okay, in their molecules. And the non-histone proteins are mostly acidic and contains the acidic amino acids such as tryptophan and tyrosine. Clear? So in histone protein, there are three types of proteins, that is arginine, histidine and lysine. And in non-histone protein, there are two types of proteins, that is tryptophan and tyrosine, which is present in the chromosome. Next is nucleic acid. Nucleic acid consists of DNA and RNA. So what is DNA and RNA? See. Okay. DNA is called the deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA is called ribonucleic acid. From D, deoxy and R, ribo. So deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. So the nucleotide present in DNA is also called what? Deoxynucleotide, and in RNA it is called ribonucleotide. So what is nucleotide? So the unit of the nucleic acid. Just now we have seen the nucleic acid consists of DNA and RNA. The units of nucleic acid is nucleotide. So nucleotide is mainly made up of pentose sugar molecule, nitrogenous base and phosphate group. These three types constitute the nucleotide. The pentose sugar molecule, that is 5-carbon sugar molecule, nitrogenous base and phosphate group. Okay. So these are the nitrogenous base. Okay. Okay. Before that, I will come to the sugar. The sugar is also of two types, that is ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. So again from the name you can understand that in DNA deoxyribose sugar is present and in RNA ribose sugar is present. Okay? And see, there are nitrogenous bases. Nitrogenous bases are again of two types, that is purine and pyrimidine. Purine bases are adenine and guanine. Adenine and guanine are the purine bases and cytosine and thymine are the pyrimidine bases. Clear? So, always in the DNA ladder inside, what happens? The purine is always forming the bond with pyrimidine. Clear? So, adenine always form the bond with thymine and cytosine with guanine. CG bond, triple bond and AT bond is double bond. Okay, CAT bond is double bond and CG bond is always triple bond. So these are the four types of nitrogenous bases present in DNA. In RNA, what happens? Guanine and cytosine are constant. Okay? Adenine is also present, but in place of thymine, it is replaced by uracil, as you can see. This CG bond is same here, CG bond, but AT bond is replaced by AU bond. That means in place of thymine, the base uracil is present in case of RNA. Okay, U for uracil. This is only the major difference between RNA and DNA structure, and another basic difference is there that RNA is a single strand structure and DNA is a double stranded helical structure. It is always forming like helix, but here it is forming like hairpin loop. Okay, single structure forming hairpin loop. Clear? So it is single stranded and there it is double stranded. Okay. Next to it, deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA structure, was explained by Watson and Crick. So it is also known as Watson and Crick model. In 1953, Watson and Crick proposed this model of DNA structure. What they are saying? That the DNA molecule consists of two strands twisted around one another like a double helix. The helix make up the one complete turn in every 34 angstrom. As you can see, one helical turn is 34 angstrom and the diameter is about 20 angstrom. Clear? If untwisted, it is just like a ladder. If it is untwisted, it will form just like a ladder. Like this two will go on the two sides, and these are the stairs of the ladder. So if untwisted, it will just like a ladder, it will look like, and the deoxyribose sugar and the phosphoric acid. See, deoxyribose sugar and the phosphoric acid. These two together contains the ladder backbone. This ladder is formed of deoxyribose sugar and phosphate group. So this backbone is called, it is a sugar phosphate backbone. S for sugar, P for phosphate. So the backbone of the DNA is made up of sugar phosphate backbone, right? And the staircases. What happens in the staircases? They are formed of the base pairing. The complementary base pairing is happening which forms the ladder. That means the stairs are made up of nitrogenous bases. And the type of bond between guanine and cytosine or thymine and adenine is the hydrogen bond. These are the hydrogen bond. Okay. So purine is linked by hydrogen bonds with the particular pyrimidine base. Clear? The adenine and thymine are always held together by the two hydrogen bonds. Okay? And cytosine and guanine are always held together by the three hydrogen bonds. So, the gene is a part of DNA consisting of several nucleotides arranged linearly and helps in the synthesis of particular polypeptide. So, this is the structure of DNA. So, it is made up of sugar phosphate backbone. And what happens? The ladder staircases are made up of nitrogenous bases with their complementary base pairing. Okay? The purine and the pyrimidine always link together with the hydrogen bond and link the pairs. Next, RNA, I have already said that it is single-stranded non-helical structure. Okay, it's made up of chain of molecule, but sometimes it make a hairpin loop or the helical structure. Okay, The basic difference I have already said that here ribose sugar is present, here deoxyribose sugar is present, and in place of thymine, here uracil is present in the pyrimidine base. So purine base is same for both. Purine bases are adenine and guanine. It is same for both, and the pyrimidine bases are cytosine and thymine. Cytosine is again common for both. Only thymine is replaced by uracil in case of RNA. So the structure of DNA and RNA till this much for today. Next day we will move on to the cell division. Okay, thank you.